Simpson. Vice Chair Bance.
Here.
Commissioner Wydola.
Present.
Commissioner Tlotzen.
Present.
Commissioner Womsey.
Present.
And Commissioner Kai and Barnes are either absent or online.
Commissioner Kai, I heard you were online.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
And who else is missing?
Commissioner Barnes.
Commissioner Barnes, is he online? Nope. All right, he's absent. All right, consent agenda consists of the April 22nd Planning Commission meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Council liaison announcements. Councilor Giles, are you online?
Yes, I am. I just joined. Sorry, I was a few minutes late.
Rocking and rolling right here for you.
All right. Hey, so the big thing, I apologize I can't be there in person tonight. I've got a transportation situation here tonight. That's the joy of having two teenage drivers in the Giles home. The big thing that we worked on this last week was we were really focusing on understanding the library levy. We did a 1-hour work session on that. I would actually highly recommend it. It's really informative for understanding how the library gets funded and what the proposal is. Just due to budget constraints throughout the county, the new levy, which would essentially replace the old one, would essentially mean probably shorter hours with about the same level of funding. It would mean that in a few years' time also that we, instead of having local people choose what books are physically in the Sherwood Library, it would go to a model where they would do all of the collection curation at the county level, which the city council was not a huge fan of because every city kind of has their own needs, and it feels like those people local would be the best to understand that. We did have the final two spans of the bridge go in on last Saturday. That was a big event. We have a couple of ribbon cuttings coming up this week. We had another ribbon cutting last week that was for a company that makes high-end safety helmets for construction and things like that over in the Tonkin employment area. Let's see, we're also in the middle of budget season right now. We are a little bit, it's tight budgets all the way around, including in Sherwood. We had a few things come in, less revenue essentially than we expected. One of them was the red light camera. We've noticed about a $50,000 drop in revenue from that. And on the one hand, we're glad because it means that there is better behavior from the drivers out there. On the other hand, we don't think that it will be replaced, mostly because one of the red light cameras was at 12th in Sherwood and 99, and it has been, the intersection itself has been switched from a right turn to a yield, and so a lot of the tickets that used to be issued were because people were not stopping at the red light there before they turned. So we don't expect that to come back. So unfortunately, there were some reduction in staff, and there were some positions that were open that we're not filling. Now we also had a big discussion about what we've been calling the 20% contingency fund in the city. or we've been calling it surplus, 20% surplus or something, whatever the name of it was. It really is not a surplus. It's kind of the money that we use to get from the end of our budget to the time we get our tax revenues for property taxes in. And so it's more like operating money for that, July to November timeframe. So we've trimmed some training budgets. We've trimmed some supply and materials thing that we won't have quite as much on hand. So we'll have to do supplemental budgets to approve that. We're not all the way through it yet, so there's still more to come on that, but we're about halfway through it now. Any questions for me?
Yeah, on that budget, what's the next meeting and the opportunity for public to be involved in that?
I can barely hear you. I think you said when's the next meeting. It is this Thursday, and it will be at, let me see. I think it's from 6 to 9. Yep, 6 to 9. And I think that there's opportunity at it for public comment. We did not have any last week, and so that's why I'm not totally sure. Let me just pull up the budget real quick.
Or we can point people to the website, but I just want to get people, it's Thursday, go to the website or call City Hall.
Yep. In fact, actually, there is. Item 6 is public comment. So you're welcome to come, and you can see last Thursday's session is up on YouTube, and then you can certainly come in. We will begin talking. We kind of left off at the library, I believe was the last. If you look at the whole presentation, we got through the library stuff, and then we're going to keep going on to the Art Center and other part of the community.
Okay. And hopefully the website's been fixed so that people can find those links to the YouTube videos, because I still can't find the links to the council meetings. So just as a citizen, if you go to the agendas page where they've always been posted, the links are no longer there. You can't access the videos unless you have a secret code or something.
Unfortunately, we are probably not going to fix that. We are going to have a new website maybe within a month or so. It's very close. I know they're doing kind of final prep on it, and that one will have all of that stuff fixed. So I don't know that we're going to go back and fix it on this current version of it, because the new one is so close to being launched.
So in the interim, what I've had to do in the past is either Sean or someone else from staff has emailed me a link if you need to see something from a council meeting.
Yes, or if you just go to YouTube directly and subscribe to the city YouTube channel, and if you turn on alarms or notifications, I get alerted every time a new city meeting is posted on that account.
And that's true for budget and some of the other boards and commissions? Or do we know?
I only have subscribed to the ones that I report to, so I can't answer that for sure.
Okay.
But
I just feel like we've missed an opportunity when we've lost that, and we don't have a way to tell people how to find where we're.
I agree. I mean, that's the whole impetus for getting the new website is we have to do a better job of public engagement, and it was just such a it was a real burden before. In fact, the only position of growth that we have is for a public communications director, because essentially all the department heads were doing the communication as like a side gig, and it just, so it was kind of haphazard as to how often it happened. I thought there was something very interesting that came out of the budget committee, that our staffing levels in the city right now are essentially the same as what they were 10 years ago. And we are providing more services with essentially the same number of people. And some of that is due to, I know in the planning world, we've gone to, online plan submissions and other things like that. And we're hoping to we're even looking, one of the council goals is to look at how can AI help with some of the menial stuff so that, we can really, hopefully, do more with less, as always. Everybody that I've ever met in the city has always been really focused on that, of how can I get more done with what I have. So
All right, excellent. Thank you very much for the update.
pleasure. Any other questions?
All right, we're moving on to staff announcements.
Just want to update the commission on the next couple months as you get into summer and then early fall. Just want to give you an outline of the meetings you could expect to be attending. So after tonight's meeting, the June 10th meeting, we don't have any projects scheduled for that. So that meeting will be canceled. With the continuation of the hearing tonight, your next meeting will be June 24th, where you will pick up the annexation policy in front of you. After that, we don't have anything scheduled for July at this point. Heading into August, you can expect the Old Town Strategic Action Plan. That will be at a point where you will be getting we'll be conducting a work session for the Old Town Strategic Plan. So we'll have our consultants here giving you background, bringing you up to speed on everything about the Old Town Strategic Plan, the meetings that have been held, the information they have, policies and everything. And that will lead into a public hearing with the Old Town Strategic Plan, either late August or early September.
So we're going to have so say that again. July was both canceled, and then you said first meeting in August or second?
No, I'm not quite sure yet.
Okay.
Just August. So I don't know if it's the first meeting, which is on the 12th, or the second meeting, which is on the 26th. It's really going to depend on us working with the consultants, making sure we have that draft pretty much ready to bring to you in a work session setting, get any of your comments, and then following up probably 2 weeks later with a formal public hearing. So that could happen the end of August or in September.
Okay. Work
Can
sessions?
you remind me, what is driving the need for that? Is there just not a good enough current strategic plan, or what's the general scope of this?
Yeah, the drive was a council goal that was adopted last year, looking at what could the city do to help businesses in Old Town. Identify any issues with business retention, maybe expansion, and what are the policies the city could do to just help with Old Town. So part of this whole process with our consultants is they've been reaching out to businesses and property owners saying, do you have any issues with Old Town? What keeps you here? Are you expanding your business? Yes. If not, why not? What do you think Old Town needs? Are there a variety of other businesses or types of uses that you think should be here? And if so, what? The other part of it is, as you know, the city owns a lot of property in Old Town. It owns several lots, including, what we're looking at here, the Cannery Square. So part of this will also be a focus on redevelopment. What could potential redevelopment of those city lots look like? And it's really for the council to consider, what kind of policies do we want in place if the city wants to move forward and look at redeveloping those properties? We're looking at design guidelines. So the ones that are in place now, are they still relevant? Do we keep them or do we update them? Other policies we could look at are zoning policies. Do the zoning, the land uses here work, or should we be adjusting them? So all those are on the table. And so all those will be presented to you in a draft plan for the public hearing.
And does the scope of it go beyond just planning commission? It's just citywide, whatever the consultants come up with, they want to hear about?
No, it's
Stuff
just
that's out of our purview as well?
no, everything should be
Everything's
within
land use.
your purview and focused on Old Town.
Yeah, there might be a few things like, the city is even open to some ideas like, facade grants or things like that, like programs that would pair with the policies that you would pass, right? Of saying, hey, here's what the design guidelines need to be. It needs to look old American style, or, whatever those things are. The city may come in and say, all right, we're going to give, a grant a year or so, you know what I mean? Like to help put that in place. And then some other things of, do we sell land? Do we trade land? Do we develop land? Those will probably be at the council level as well. But all of that is, based off of, the thing we always hear is we want Old Town is such an asset. And it's like we want to protect it, but we also want it to grow and develop in a way that makes it even a better asset for us. So it keeps the small town vibe, but maybe not, like, for instance, we've got a lot of dentists and hair appointments and things like that where people come to an appointment and do it and then leave, versus the stores like Cedar and Stone or Hungry Hero, where you go, you explore, you see what kinds of things have, and maybe go to the shops around it, and it becomes more of a destination than hey, I go to see my lawyer and then I'm out of here, kind of thing.
So our scope, so what we're going to be doing is hearing from the consultant, the recommendations, kind of organizing that into something for feedback for council.
Well, yes, and you'll be holding a public hearing on the draft plan. So we'll be noticing that to Old Town, to property owners, residents, getting the word out, and so they can come here and give you their feedback on the plan, maybe their recommendations or things they'd like to see in the plan, or things they support or that they don't support. So then you as a commission will be taking all that in, looking at the findings and seeing if maybe any recommendations need to be done to this draft plan to the council changes.
So this strategic action plan has a citizen advisory committee that's already been assigned. They got members from different boards and commissions, plus Old Town Chamber. Trying to think of the representatives, and then there's a TAC that has a separate technical advisory committee meeting that is also meeting to help drive it. But it's a lot of the suppositions and goals and directions came from council initially, so that they've been given a certain perspective that they started with.
Yes.
I may have missed, I thought you said at the very beginning that there was already a questionnaire or a survey done for the business owners. Did you say that, or did you say there will be?
There is one out right now.
Okay.
We did both a mailing and an email.
Okay. And that will be included in our work session as well, the outcome of that?
Yeah. And just as an aside, next week, the consultants First 40 Feet will be presenting to council in a work session just the work they've done up to date, and just bringing council up to speed to all the work that has been done, and issues, and they just want to make sure that they're on the right track, and they're just touching in with council to make sure that they're focusing on what the council would like them to focus on.
So can you send the meeting time for that, so commissioners can't speak to it, but we could go and listen if it's something that's coming to us as we get?
Oh, certainly, yeah.
Because if we're interested in knowing about it and hearing what the council's thing is, either figure out the whole YouTube thing and watch it, or attend the meeting on the second. And yeah, if we could find out what time that is on the 3rd, that'd be great.
Yes.
Because usually our work sessions are a little bit early, and depending on how many items they have, it could be kind of really early. So.
Correct.
All right, thank you. So again, June 10th meeting's canceled.
Yes.
Currently, both meetings in July are canceled.
Yes.
And is there any thought on it, work sessions or any other training that we're going to need before we get back into applications? We have new commissioners. I just don't want to.
Well, we can certainly
maybe send out a poll.
We could look into that. Right now, we don't have any projects currently that would be coming to you.
No land use application.
No land use applications.
So everything that's coming before us in the near term are legislative.
Legislative, correct.
Okay, so if anybody has any concerns or wants any training, throw something out to Sean so we keep it on our radar. It's been such an easy couple of months here. So, all right, any other staff announcements?
Nope, thank you.
Can I ask one more thing?
Yes.
Remember we were going to, at least I heard we were planning to talk about tree code this year. Is that still on the radar as well?
It is. I didn't add it to your list here. It may be coming to you in late fall or the winter, but it would, Hugo would be starting that work after the annexation policy all wraps up. And then I'm not quite sure the timing of that, when it would be coming to you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And then I guess the last question I had was a recap. Did we get a recap from the ethics training and some of the feedback questions that had been answered during that about like the storage of our records? Like I'm writing notes on my.
No.
There is an email from Sebastian to council. My counsel back to him was to square that up with the Oregon Department of Ethics, ODEC, I think is what it's called. Anyway, because ODEC's interpretation was much more lenient than the training you and I received, which was very severe and lawyerly and worst case scenario kind of a thing versus, and so he's currently putting that together for kind of, hey, this is our city's take on the ODEC or training now that we've gotten it. So you'll have to chat with Sebastian on that one.
Okay, if we could get an update before the next meeting on
Okay.
what our requirements are, especially if we have ongoing notes on legislative matters versus quasi-judicial. That would be great. Thank you.
One more quick question. Your email earlier said that we'll be reviewing, talking about other projects we're reviewing later this year, including Old Town Strategic Plan. You just covered that, and quote, other updates to the zoning code. You know what that was about, or is that?
That would be the tree code.
Okay.
But even after that, we've talked about just, updates that just sort of clean up a lot of areas of the code. That might be more like next year, but there's some inconsistencies in the code. There's some areas that could just be word-wise tightened up a little bit. So those are all things that Hugo's been working on as he's worked in the code for the last 2 years that we would then be bringing to you. But it would be tree code first and then followed up with that general code update.
Thank you.
Excellent. So community comments, those are limited to items not already on the agenda. And I would ask staff, do we have anybody signed up for community comments this evening?
No, we didn't receive any signups.
Okay, and no one is in the audience, so we're going to move on to public hearings. All right. The public hearing on annexation policies case file LU 2024-018PA is called to order. Before I describe the procedures for conducting a public hearing, I want to note that the applicant, which is the city of Sherwood, has requested a continuance of this hearing to Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. The Planning Commission can grant the requested continuance or conduct the hearing this evening as previously scheduled. The public testimony received thus far has been entered into the record and will be addressed as part of the public hearing on this application, whether that hearing is conducted tonight or at a later date. Staff, is there anything further you would like to address regarding the requested continuance?
Nothing at this time, Commissioners.
Are there any questions for staff or any issues any commissioners would like to discuss relating to the requested continuance? Is there a motion to continue the public hearing on application LU 2024-018PA to June 24th, 2025?
Okay, I move the Sherwood Planning Commission continue the public hearing on the application for annexation policies, case file LU 2024-018PA until June 24, 2025.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we continue the hearing on LU 2024-018PA until June 24th, 2025. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to commissioner comments. Any comments or questions not already addressed to staff or our council liaison? Then with a flare the gavel and no protests, I will adjourn our City Planning Commission meeting at 7:28 p.m. 7.